Here are 5 ways video storytelling connects and converts. And what do you got there? Whoa! More than 87% of your target customers want to know the origin of your brand.
Your origin story, where you guys came from, what's the early days.
And I mean, that just builds a connection, gets people to know you, massive trust builder. If you have a great product, you want to get it out to as many people as you can. And to do that, you have to tell your story. You have to connect emotionally with your customers. Even after you go into detail about your origin story, how your company started, there's still so many stories to tell about your products being used in real life.
It's also about your culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is your corporate culture? What does it look like? How does the world see you guys? It could be a fictional narrative.
Or a documentary style shoot showing the behind the scenes of your operation.
Yeah, it could be just a point and shoot. It could be with your iPhone or your Android. Just click record and capture your story.
However you do it, this marketing format takes your brand to another level that's a lot more personal, connects a lot better, and converts a lot better too. That's telling a story.
Behind every brand is a person or a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if people have that affinity or that connection to those people, then the connection to the brand is a lot stronger. It lasts a lot longer as well. Team is your most valuable thing, I think, when it comes to branding.
That's why today we're sharing 5 ways that storytelling can transform your existing outreach strategy. We're turning this from bland to bold. Bland to bold.
What do you mean bland to bold? What does that mean?
Bland to bold. Well, might be bland. We're trying to make it interesting.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh. Storytelling might be the missing link to optimize your conversions.
Why is storytelling so important? Since the dawn of time, we have been telling stories visually. If you look in ancient caves and hieroglyphics, people have been telling stories. I think now is the best time, and we have the best format and the best opportunity to share stories visually.
Just to expand on the why for a minute before we kind of jump into the steps, here's a brand that leveraged storytelling to have huge success. They got like millions and millions, in fact, 16 million views when their video first dropped. The brand called Intuit. You may have heard of them if you use QuickBooks, TurboTax, or Mint. They had a video featuring a giant robot that was kind of using all the Intuit products.
This piece that they produced was really powerful because I think it combined everything. It combined visual storytelling with just overall really good story. The robot was this hero, it was this helpful character, it was a guide, and it really helped people to build their business. There's this love story between this man and this woman.
In the first week, it got 16 million views. And out of those, 1 in 3 of the viewers stayed and watched the entire video.
They had all the elements. They had the human element, they had love, they had characters, they had solid brand, they had these pain points, these struggles that people are going through that were resolved with this product.
Views are one thing, but another important aspect is kind of brand positioning. They had a study that said just that video alone raised Intuit's brand recall by 26%.
Wow.
And brand awareness by 17%, and favorability by 27%. So by the time the fourth quarter of 2018 rolled around, Intuit was looking at a 17% increase in revenue, with its annual earnings up 15% since 2017. Takeaway is that videos convert, especially ones that have a focus on storytelling and have that emotional connection. Videos can breathe new life into your marketing efforts that are kind of stale or bland. So getting to the meat of it, here are 5 ways that you can accomplish that.
It's all about being personal. Keep it personal. So there's a really interesting stat here. 80% of consumers are more willing to make a purchase when there's some level of personalization.
You can form that personal connection through written word, but video is just written word times 1,000. Video just has this massive impact. Get into specifics here on the style of videos that work with storytelling. It's important to feature real people or use animation to show people, but it's not just kind of rattling off statistics or just showing features. You're actually telling a story, showing people using your product, showing the hero's journey. First of all, introducing them, then the problem, and then the resolution. It doesn't take much for corporate branding to veer into sort of monotonous territory. Even if your brand caters to the C-suite and it's very professional, video is a huge component to portray your messages in a unique light that builds a connection. In the example of Intuit, if a financial software company can achieve a way to create marketing with a creative spin, then you can do it too.
The important thing here is to just try it for yourself. Don't get caught up in the production process. Hit record and just capture your stories, even if they're very short. Putting people on frame and sharing those on your about page, on your company page, on your social pages. This is really going to help to build that connection with your prospects or your clients.
Just introduce them, show what they do and how they impact your company mission, reveals the people working for your company. Great place to start is to create a video showcasing how your company was born.
Origin story.
Origin story.
It's that Marvel DC Comics intro piece where everything kind of flashes on the frame about
exactly
the bite of the spider that made Spider-Man and Batman falling through the cave.
Talk about the driving forces behind the creation of the company. Describe how it was like watching it launch. Human story, the human experience.
I think a lot of companies suffer from the fact that they want everything to be corporate. Sometimes origin early stories are kind of messy. They're challenging. And I think that people actually connect to those stories because it's about the human struggle and then how someone was able to kind of solve a problem and then overcome that and then provide a really viable, sustainable solution to people.
And once you create that origin story video, a great place to put it is on your about page. Also, of course, share it across all social media channels. Oh, that thing.
That's the problem with working with a drummer. I got a bag of percussion.
Yeah, we got a lot of percussion instruments in the office.
One of the key benefits of storytelling is that it's truly persuasive. People actually experience a 3-step response system when hearing a story.
The 3 steps are: first, we're made aware of the situation, then we're aroused to do something, and finally, we act. They had 2 different study groups watch 2 different videos. The first tells the story of a father who's struggling to connect with his son who is dying of a terminal illness. The other is almost devoid of a story and just shows the father walking into the zoo with his son. And as expected, the engagement levels were higher on the first video. Researchers also noticed that viewers who watched the first video had a 47% higher level of oxytocin in their bodies compared to those who watched the second. This is a human chemical linked to empathy. We're getting really sciencey here. This is a scientific experiment basically proving that storytelling converts, connecting your brand to that person.
I think a lot of us experience that when we watch a really inspiring, really positive video. We feel something, hit of serotonin or dopamines just because you feel that level of happiness. I think the best storytellers really try to elicit those honest and genuine feelings out of people.
You can incorporate visual storytelling anywhere you want to persuade a potential prospect to act. Okay, we just found a soundboard.
One of the next really big advantages of storytelling is that it grabs people's attention. The sad reality is that the vast majority of content that we all put out on the internet, it falls flat. No one cares, no one sees it. The solution is better storytelling.
The signal to noise ratio.
A lot of people suffer from analysis paralysis where they see too much content, too many videos, they just kind of tune out. So I think there's a really good opportunity to kind of punch through that noise and to really share your story by being just as honest and genuine and personal as you can.
So it's useful to turn that blog content into video content that's a lot more dynamic. So it's going to grab users' attention. Whenever you make a blog, make a video to go with it. Way to grab viewers' attention is to not use so much industry jargon. Talk the way people talk. Jargon just creates barriers to entry. The more you speak in plain, simple language, the more people are going to understand it. If you're using jargon, explain what you mean, go into a little bit more detail, be more personable.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's really important to proliferate omni-channel data sets across all mediums.
I'm sorry. Self-destruct sequence activated.
There's a lot of different places to put your videos. You can put them in your stories, in your biographies, in your case studies, and all of your online content, your social. Consider sharing your video stories in your email newsletter too.
Get permission from your customers to highlight one of their stories about how they use your product. Social proof is always great.
You gotta speak up.
You gotta speak up.
As you're doing that, just make sure to make it clear that these stories are true. They're not some fictional ad that you made up, they're real.
So with the story of the elephant and the mouse wins because it can move faster and it can be quicker and more agile than the elephant.
What's the story of the elephant and the mouse? I've never heard that story.
It's an Aesop's fable or something like that.
It's a fable.
It's a fable.
Okay, yeah. Learn on your fables, folks.
Storytelling will help you outpace the competition. Why? Big companies, they don't really share stories. They're too big for that. They're beyond the people. Maybe they have some sort of a spokesperson or a hired kind of personality. So as small companies, as small businesses or medium-sized businesses, we have an opportunity to share the stories about real people, about humans, and to kind of get ahead of our competition.
More of these bigger companies are now adapting for that and creating these more emotional stories that people can connect with. Big corporations are creating these stories from this big corporation perspective. Now, as a small business, you have unique opportunities opportunity of actually being a small business. You have that underdog advantage. So you can really tell your story and be like, hey, listen, this small team, we're growing this company, join our journey, be a part of our rise to the top. People root for the underdog.
Power up here.
Power up. Powered up. Yes. So before you make your videos, research your competition, see what kind of content they're making. How can you expand and improve upon their efforts? Use storytelling to set your brand apart.
It's important to know what your competitors are doing, but to always find your own voice.
If your competitors have a similar target market, see what they're doing and then think, oh, well, how can we speak to our target market in a way that exceeds expectations? It's just a brainstorming process. It might take a few tries. Iteration is always important.
Storytelling builds trust.
There's a study that said that 73% of customers claimed that transparency was more important than the price of the product.
It's important to note that people really appreciate companies that are transparent, that are honest, that tell the situation like it is. I think this is why testimonials are so valuable, because it's not a company that's trying to tell something to consumers. It's buyers or users of a product or a service that are sharing their success stories. I think it's really important to tap into what people are saying about your product or your service or your company.
If your advertising campaigns are too flashy or too gimmicky, your audience is gonna see that immediately. It's not hard to figure out. So to prevent this, just try to seek a connection and credibility in the form of transparency wherever you can.
Recommendations and reviews are also really important. If you can get those captured in video format, you can incorporate those into your story, which is really gonna give that extra trust and wow factor.
84% of people trust online recommendations as much as personal advice from family or friends. Create videos featuring feedback, share those on all the platforms.
This is something that we're really passionate about here at Dubb. We actually capture all of our testimonial videos and we put them right on our homepage. Simple stories that people share using phones or webcams and just kind of share their success stories.
Actually, our company Dubb has a great way of collecting testimonials. Our customizable video landing pages make it really easy to add a call to action. And then so when people watch a video, they can just click a button below the video, immediately a little pop-up opens and they can record a testimonial or record any video reply and then just send it right back. They don't even have to install anything. Woo!
One way that people really convey trust with their audience is to find someone that's already trusted in their industry, a thought leader, an influencer, some sort of an important person that can share stories. As long as it's sincere and honest, this could have really positive results.
Make sure if you're doing influencer marketing to really work with the influencer, make sure that they actually understand the product or are really passionate about the product, because their audience will tell if they're just kind of taking the paycheck. You want them to really believe in your company, and that'll have the most impact.
A great brand story isn't just a tale, it's an invitation to connect with you on a long-term business. If you need help capturing your stories in a visual format from your phone or your screen, request an invite at Dubb. Before Dubb, I spent a lot of time helping sales and marketing leaders to just share better stories. And Dubb really helps people do that. So if you want to grab a free account, check out Dubb.com.
So those are some ways that video storytelling can connect to your audience and increase conversions. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to all our channels for more videos.
People skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand it? What the hell is wrong with you people?
This is from Office Space.